Hey, what's up, guys? Back on track with the videos now. I've got the computer fixed up. Not going to ramble on about that. Let's jump right in. I got a couple things to talk about, of course. The market, as we see it now, it's looking green. I didn't mean to hide from the videos while the market was crapping out. I guess we can jump right in and talk about the global chart for a second, but I just want to look at this green field. We've had a couple days of green going up. I didn't have much money in the market for this bounce back. For good reason, because in crash markets, I'm bearish. That's just how it is. I'm always upfront about that when I make comments uh, online about that. Some people jumped in and they made a killing for 2 days in a row, and man, I'm stoked for them. So a lot of people going in. I was just hoping that they would do well, and a couple of them did, I'm sure. But looks like we're in a settling period now. We're back in the we're towards the end of the American day, 7:37 p.m. Things are starting to settle out. A lot of those 15, 20, 30% are now dialing back down. We're kind of in the 10, 5, 1% range. A little bit of red popping up. I'm hoping we don't go into a little bull trap cycle now, that the tables are turned a little bit. It's unknown. I'm conservative on the bounce back and try to look for the next pop up, but you never know with crypto. Crypto will surprise us all every turn. These are a lot of technology fans investing more rather than, purely technical chart traders, uh, which I have been in the past. And it's something we always got to fight to understand because charts reveal a lot. And I'm not going to linger on this. It was sort of a golden moment that I had, and thankfully got to share with people. I saw the chart right here and just set up the alarms on my Facebook page and one of the main groups I'm in. I just knew at this point. I just knew. I knew it was going down. Thankfully, it signaled off a few people. I know that they pulled out, a massive amount of their stores, and I pulled out 75% of mine right there, and the crash just started to happen. And I'm not gonna linger on that because we're already over that. I would have made a video about that then, but my sound card was acting up, and I've replaced it, and now the hum's gone. I didn't want to pierce anybody's ears anymore. But anyway, this was a rough week. I'll talk about that for a minute here. Right about here, I felt that the market was also at risk of its crash. This is the same reason why I was skeptical about this point. Right here, I made a call as well, not out loud. And I regretted not making that call out loud, which is why I went ahead and just kind of put everything on the line and came out and said, guys, we're in deep crap here. Because I didn't do that here, and it cost me money because I didn't pull my money out. And I also didn't warn people at this point. Not that I'm supposed to be, the tornado siren. I'm still human, and I make calls as I see them. But right here, we had those couple of little bounce back days, lost, 10% and then 10% again. And then it just kind of turned into a jerk you around red ride. And this is where I took most of my losses, was in this batch here. And I wasn't happy with those losses at all. And I'm sure none of you were happy with your losses. And we had this kind of a feign of a bounce back, and it was a choppy little market. Uh, I had good cryptos that weren't bouncing back as they should have. And then we come here to this point here. And I know the people who saw that call might like to hear me just kind of discuss it just a little bit. I know I spelled it out in the group, but right here at this breaking point here, I'm going to zoom in even further. It was right here when I saw the downslide was inevitable. And it's real simple. I know it's not real simple, but it is real simple. I mean, this is what it looks like. This is a stability chart. All the time we see these kind of runs. This is where we start to feel really good and safe. However, we were on top of the largest bubble market maybe that the world has ever seen. Billions and billions of dollars. We're just stacked upon billions of dollars, and somebody was going to go honk and scoop out the bottom. And they did it, and it was the big players with enough Bitcoin to just take everything down. So the signs were there. And to me, this call felt, obviously was an awesome call to make, but the signs were so present. I wish I would have made a nice big call right here, because it would have saved me a bunch of money, first off. Second off, I could have helped a few other people. I know this one saved a bunch of people a lot of money. I'm so happy about that. It's probably one of my happiest moments in crypto, is just knowing that a few people got to yank their stuff out and save some losses, and I did too. And I yanked out 75% here, and right about here, the other 25%. I was like, it's done, it's over, we're running, and it ran, and man, what a massacre! Everyone, no doubt, felt a ton of disappointment. I gotta say though, it feels bad taking big losses, which I took most of mine here. It feels bad taking losses, but it feels not very bad taking loss of profit compared to if you're just fresh in with your money here in the stock market and you're losing your own cash. That hurts so bad. And I experienced that in my introductory days in the stock market, to where, you had to put so much money on the line to make a little bit of profit. The stock market is a brutal, harsh environment. You have to make a $2,000-$3,000 trade to maybe make 40-50 bucks overnight sometimes. And you make those gains in the stock market and they're erased many times over. Like, you make a bunch of gains and you lose gains. Well, in your first, couple months, that the losses often dig back in your original pile as you're learning. And it hurts so bad. It will change your life. It hurts so bad in the fact that to have your goals erased is the big thing. 2-3 weeks of your work to have it erased multiple times. It's the antithesis of just pain in projects. You're just like, it's a mess. Anyways, that's why I've become bearish in market crashes. Is I've rode a worse roller coaster than crypto generally has offered. I'm saying there's a lot of opportunities to lose money in crypto. Lots of bubble crashes, and some of the old players have seen it many times already. But I'm bearish in the crash, and that's why I knew that call was coming. And that's why I knew it was here too. But it is what it is. I was distracted, and it helped me to remember to stay fresh on my game. I'm building the website and the new group, and I just kind of got complacent about making my own active decisions. That's the most thing. It's super important in trading, wherever, here, the stock market, or in an intense active sport. You got to make a decision. You got to make tough decisions, and that's why here I pulled everything. A lot of us could look at this and say, well, man, how do we know that wasn't going to go up? And the fact is no one 100% knew, except for the people who were going to pull out that first chunk of money. Those people are the market makers. The people with the FUD, the Korea FUD, and whatnot. We've got the futures contracts and the Winklevoss twins and this and that. We've got entities that have, 10,000 Bitcoin and who knows what altcoin. Those are the people that made that fall happen. And all we can do as individual traders, and even collective to any degree in these groups, is know that the market makers are going to make moves, and that we have to be responsible for reacting to those moves. And for some people, we ride this crash down here, and they tried every hop up, and some of them just got their throat cut over and over again, and I know that's no fun. That's why I don't bother doing that. And some people finally tried again here, and they did good, and not just good, but some of them probably did great. They might have made back 1x on their portfolio. I think a lot of these were doing 20 to 30% a day for 2 days there, so you might have made 60%. To me, I didn't feel that the 60% gain was worth risking another loss train, which can just, well, I don't even got to say it. You already know, we all saw it. But we're back on track here. The market's threatening a little bit of a dial back here. It's almost 8 o'clock at night, American Central Time. What's going to happen when the Asian day starts? Around 11:30 at night, 12:30 at night. Are they going to pop it again? Are they going to go down? And if they pop it again, then I'll re-engage more of my portfolio. If it goes down, then I'm going to sit here and be like, the bear side of me is going to say to the bull side, like, yeah, bro, like, we told you so. We told you it's a risk. But I'm not saying it's going to go either way at this point. I've been kind of sharing my conservative bearish light here. Conservative on the charts, not politically, but yeah, we have to wait and see. Market makers going to pull the rug again? They could. That's the thing. You got to look at it like that. They could pull the rug, cause a sharp little needle to drop right there, and we're in a downward run again, probably to here. If those same people instead pump the market, we get an upward run and we could be on a whole new trajectory. A lot of people are saying that with these future markets, we're looking at potential almost like a damaging the integrity of the Bitcoin altcoin market itself, and that every month we're going to have these little corrective motions, and that can lead to, I'll just do with a mouse, that could lead to little staggers. If we grow for, how long is this chart? We're almost a month here, so it would grow almost as long as this chart is here, and then pop, little corrections. And it's miserable, but you can still make money on the upshots, and you can still make money kind of trying to catch the fallen knife. As long as if unpredictability is what's predictable, you can begin to play that as well. But we're coming out of that super bull market where we saw that basically predictability was just in everybody's blood. Everybody was saying up, 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 more, 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 and it was unreal. It was with crowd dynamics at its most interesting point, really. It was like we were all cheering for the same team all at the same time and on the entire crypto planet. It was spectacular, but hope we see some more action like that. Are we going to correct again? Well, let's zoom out and look at the market again. We've already done, we're almost at a 50% retracement from, geez, the old days, which is pre-2017 pretty much. I mean, there it was just last year. Market cap 14 billion. Where were we at the peak? Almost 800 billion. The multiplier was immense, and that's why we saw the market fold. And that's why we're seeing a catch here, though, is we still got fanaticism. I mean, we're all into this. We all want to see the gains here. The future of cryptocurrency, where's that going to be on this market chart? Is it going to be some kind of weird ride, or are we going to be able to cruise up here? Cruising up here means that the top 100 on the market cap is going to be, let's just look. If the market comes up here, we're looking at the top 100, either the top 100 being all valued at, 5 billion a piece, or as an alternative to that, the top 200-300 all having a more jacked up range. But then we'd be talking about these being at 1 billion at the 100 range, and the next 100 being at half a billion, and maybe the next 100 being at, geez, 100 million to 200 million. So we're either looking at a top 100 that's just, and I'm not going to say insane proportions, but we have to say insane proportions to some degree, because while crypto market itself is proven, we're at the phase where crypto businesses have to start staking in and showing growth based on expansion and profitability as a business itself. And we're still in a beautiful time for crypto with 2018. We we don't have to have 100% provers yet, which means the markets can play without every single news release having to be like major business kapows, you know? But, oh, I'm not going to jump there yet. Back here. So when we look at the market, I would say a reasonable mind would say we're looking at a kind of a trajectory of, I'm not going to say instability, we're going to seeing a bandwidth that's going to start to form here, at least for a little while probably, unless it's moon time and we're going to raise up here and see what happens. But if it's moon time and we raise up here at this point, then we're looking at a crash eventually that'll bring us down to here. And I don't know. Is the market going to do that yet, or are we going to have a stabilizing period? Either way, we're all going to play it day by day, but I wanted to do some market talk because I like market talk. Market talk is the, you know, it's the bedrock of so much of our own personal activity in trading. You know, we're making tons of trades, looking at tons of cryptos, and everything we're talking about those is like in a sandwich layer that sits on top of the market itself, and the market can change everything we ever thought about, all these little thoughts and ideas. So I always look at the market. Speaking of which, we've got a new riser here in the top 100, and I'm going to cover this crypto, just a little glance at it. I don't actually know a ton about it, but I just want to talk about it. It's called Maker, and they are calling themselves a stable coin, and that's quoted, stable coin. And this coin is, I don't know, they call themselves a token or a coin. I don't know at this point, but they're new. Into the top 100. Been showing a lot of growth since the end of August. And this is what people are saying, is they call themselves a stable coin, and look at how they've fared. The market just crashed, and this coin actually went up. We're in December, took some dips there. Half price dip in December. I don't know the news surrounding that moment in time. I don't know. I want to look more into this, but they're touting themselves as a stable coin, and we'll pop onto their website. Okay, so we're going to look at the website. I had a little glitch there. I had to patch it up, but let's jump right in and look at Maker. And it's a complex one to explain, so I wanted to get it just right for you guys, so I found literally the easiest way to explain this. Maker is a stable coin, and any application which requires a low threshold of volatility to be viable on a blockchain. Consumer loans, for example, simply cannot be denominated in a currency that fluctuates 10 to 20% in a day, like Bitcoin and Ether. So Maker is a stable coin, and it's has a complex mechanism set up to try to not force but create that stability. And I'm going to just pop in just two little chunks of this video to try to spell it out for you.
And at any time reclaim their collateral by returning the collateral needs a loan.
There we go.
They can borrow DAI by locking currency into a collateralized debt position, or CDP for short. And at any time reclaim their collateral by returning the borrowed DAI plus an accumulated fee. The stability of DAI is market-based, maintained through modifying the incentives for borrowing and holding DAI. The cost of borrowing DAI becomes more expensive when the price is below its target, whereas if the price rises above target, then the cost of creating new DAI reduces.
So this is elasticity around any kind of changes within the crypto itself. As you can just see in the little diagram, these are just control measures that keep things from getting out of hand or changing in proportion without correctional features kind of being written into any application, whether it's crypto or, you know, juggling. You know, it's just control measures, and it's going to forever keep Maker, theoretically, and any other stable coin more stable. And Maker's tied to the new DAI stable coin. I guess that's been a whole wing of crypto for quite some time. And I don't know if we've seen other players in the top, 300 or 200, but here it is, kind of making a spectacular landing at number 35 on the top 100. 942 million. We're almost $1 billion with this one. I don't know. I haven't heard any talk about it in any of the groups I'm in, and so luckily caught everybody kind of by surprise. But the amazing thing about makers, see, is that there's only 1 million. And as I'm saying it and remembering it again, I'm remembering that people did mention a crypto out there with only 1 million supply. I think I just it didn't catch my ear strong enough, and well, it's a player now. What's the future for makers as far as upward rise? Well, it's pretty nice. This chart is nice. Obviously we see one correction. There'll probably be more corrections on spikes like that, but overall we look at the chart flow and it's very nice and upward. If this one drops in any way, unless there's news driving it or there's a competing stable coin, I'll figure that the future for this might do one of these. It's had its long run already. It's been around since August. We're not looking at any kind of you know chart duration correction that often happens. Is what it is. I'll be keeping an eye on it again in the future. I think we all will be, since it's on high in the top 100 at this point. But that's all I'm gonna. Oh no, you know what? Let's do a bounce through. I got an obvious topic that I'm gonna talk about for those of you who know me at all online. But before we get to that, should we do a little pass on the market? Even just since I started this video, how long was that? 20, 30 minutes ago. Market's starting to bleed out a little bit. I'm not happy to see it. I still only have 1/8 of my portfolio engaged, or 1/7 or something. So I don't feel any pain yet, but it is what it is. Let's pop on the old global chart. And of course, this is a little delay of what we'd see on Binance or whatever, but I'm just looking for an impression, not the exactness. And it's playing its dip here. It's interesting. We've had a little pop back, a little pop up from the pop down, and yet this is when the dirty stuff happens. And traders, we're seeing a lot of red show up. Even though the market's saying it's going up, we're seeing a lot of red. And of course, we go to the top here. Bitcoin is making its move. You always got to watch Bitcoin because it's got so much market cap behind it still. And at this point, Ethereum, of course. And even if just those two move, it can change the whole market cap. Actually, I think this market cap chart is minus Bitcoin. Excluding Bitcoin, it is. But Ethereum, for example, if Ethereum and Ripple and took a dive both at the same time, they could move quite a bit of the market and put an impression on a lot of these lower cryptos. Likewise, the two could rise. These could, a lot of these could do real bad down here, and you wouldn't necessarily notice it on a global chart. But so global's moving up, cryptos are starting to move down. Syndicator is a dominator today, 185%. I think I've been in syndicator once. It's just not one that I've latched onto specifically, but I know a lot of people are moving in on Quant Stamp as a reliable future mover. And QuantStamp did get an annihilation, just like all cryptos, and it's had a nice little bounce back. Let's see. Patcoin, Verizon, Substratum, down 5%. We're seeing that Substratum's just a monstrous sell wall, just plugging the way over and over again, and I think a lot of us are getting really impatient with it at this point. Every time Substratum drops, that sell wall just drops in place and absorbs every market sell order. It can just absorb over and over again, keeping the price from rising up. And I'm resenting that sell wall quite a bit at this point, because every inch of the way where Substratum's challenged, that sell wall pops up back in place. It's damaging to Substratum on a certain level. I'm a fan of Substratum, but every time we pop in and see that thing, what are you doing? Are you buying into the sell wall? Why would you? Just a wall like that just tells us that the price isn't going up anytime soon until that sell wall pops off. And I've actually witnessed it pop off one time directly, and it just kind of makes you go like, it's just Substratum that this is happening to. It's not just a multi-million-dollar sell wall at this point. I think we're looking at We're up into the tens of millions forming it. I'm not even sure how do you calculate a wall that's that big and going that far back at this point. I'm starting to wonder if there's just uh, what you'd call almost a market maker for substratum at play. I sure hope that it's not one of the owners partaking. I don't know if substratum has a coin lot going on, but I sure as hell hope it's not. It's an insider playing the price that bad. I really hope that's not the case. It'd be self-sabotage in the long run. That sell wall, whatever it is, whoever it is out there rolling that sell wall, I mean, you're hurting substratum at this point, I'd say. This recovery is already messed up, and it keeps popping up. I'm out of substratum until I see some things change, and I'd really like to see that sell wall stop popping into place. So whoever you are out there, man, boom, garlic and crucifixes for you, man. Let substratum have its due runs. You know, there's a lot of crypto to play with out there. You don't have to just bombard substratum like that. Anyways, I'm gonna move on. That's the way the market goes. You see things like that in the stock market where there's, you know, thousands of stocks, and some stocks just get aggressively gamed by what seems to be a single entity, because you see them roll the stock chart in similar ways, you know, here and there, and play with the same patterns. Anyways, I'm not getting into that. Let's get into something positive. What's positive this week? Well, Moonbase Crypto. It's the new group I made. It's tied to the website. Website first. Been working on it for 2 months. I actually started the group just as it's been a secret group about when was it, like end of November or something. Just been sitting there waiting for the right moment, and after this market crash happened, it's like, boom, guys, we need to line up for Moon City. We need to do it all together as we do in the groups. The groups are the best environment. You know, we all get to plop in, and we get all this stuff in our face. Anyways, it sounded terrible, but we get news in our face and good calls and decisions, and that's what it's all about. And I made Moonbase Crypto Facebook group have a specific guideline to kind of guide the process, because I love all my other groups that I'm in. I love them, and they're generalized discussions, or some of them are more focused in smaller groups, and each one has a unique purpose and style and flow and almost like flavor to the type of atmosphere it creates, and I think they're all great. So the Facebook, if you know, a lot of you are already on there. If you are, you probably know a lot of what I'm going to say right here. But we've got these feed filter buttons here, group rules here, of course. You can see those here. This talks about the post tags. You find your 2 passwords within these rules to get into the group, and it's just because we need people to read these rules, and it's to keep the specific theme of the group going, and that is, you know, I love general discussion, and I love learning discussion, and I love it when answering questions a lot of times. But I know that we just have this thing where in our groups, it's like, as traders and as a group of people talking about specific topics in crypto, we need access. One thing what's happening is I already bought up on the ICOs I was allowed to get in as a U.S. citizen and whatnot, and ICO talk just kept coming through the channels over and over again, and it's like, man, like, that'd be fantastic if I could consider those, but I can't, and they're filling my feed so much that I need to be able to separate that, and that's what Moonbase Crypto Facebook group is going to be about. You're going to be able to hit this button here and see ICO talk, or, you know, here's prospects, which is calls and write-ups. It's you don't have to make a call. You can make a write-up on a crypto. Call is, you know, put yourself on the line. Some people like to avoid making calls, but here, these buttons are going to filter the Facebook feed. So if you're not in ICO consideration phase, and instead you need to see calls and write-ups because you're sitting there trying to you're like, I need to make a trade right now. I need to find something to buy right now. Well, now you can click the button and see posts. You know, there's not a lot of posts. It's a new group still, but it'll pop up all the prospects in the feed, and you can see, you know, you can see the last 5, 6, 10 prospect posts. Instead of having to sift through 885 posts that are going to not give you that sort of information pool that you need for that moment in time. So I split up the topics here: prospect, news. News is going to include the market details, ICO, question, and cool. And that's rough categories and mostly what I post about. I know a lot of people are kind of, they're saying like, does this deter generalized discussion? Well, it might. Should I add a discussion button? I'm saying maybe, but I think we got to run this out and see if we can have more of an active level kind of something we can use. You know, a group that it's a group and we get to express what we need to. You know, we can celebrate through the cool tag. We can ask questions here. You know, and our discussions, you know, kind of split out in these topics. You know, I know there's things that people want to ask or check in with others about, you know, like which exchange is good, which is that, you know, what about this? Has anybody seen this? Well, a lot of that falls into these question categories. Everything kind of fits into these categories. And one thing that's missing so far is the generalized feed, but that's what makes the group different. And I had no intention on saying like, let's make a giant group and I'm going to forget about all the other groups. No, I want to be in those other groups. I love them. I think that I'm involved in a couple. I'm a moderator in one of them, Crypto Unicorn Coin Mafia, which is an awesome group, and SCM and a couple others too. And I just don't see it as a thing towards one or the other on any level. You know, we're in these groups to learn and absorb the different flow that comes from each of these groups. And I think that's fantastic. Anyways, so on this page, I put a little Bitcoin calculator. I think that's always, it's like I'm always popping on. I've got other Bitcoin calculators, but some people's brains just calculate Satoshis already, you know, this computer programmer types. And, you know, nature gave you guys a gift for that, but I'm always needing to have a reference to something that's tangible. And the price of Bitcoin is always changing, so Satoshi value is always changing. And you know, I carry a general sense of it, but I like to know exacts, and some people are cool without knowing exact. I like to know exact things sometimes. Anyways, I got a link to Tether here for now. I had the currency linked, still getting that to work. But as you can see here, it's kind of the website release. This is just a feature on my website platform right now. This is going to be in its own specific tab or, you know, section on the website. But Moonbase, the website, I got to take a drink. Doing the old Marco Rubio. But let's see here. 55 days max. I'd like to have it done this week. I was working on it so hard the last couple months in my pockets of time. The thing is that I ignored trading at a critical moment in time. It was literally as the market first started to turn, and I would have pulled my money a lot sooner and saved a lot of money. I was so focused on this and participating in the groups. So I'm not going to make that mistake again. And that's why, you know, with the crash of the market and this and that, I was like, I gotta get something for Moonbase going immediately, because the market's gonna, you know, we're back to a blank farm field and things are gonna start growing out of the crash that just happened. And that's the whole point of Moonbase, guys, is finding potential moons together. You know, it's not about, we're not sitting here trying to say, and please don't get me on copyrights here, guys. This is just a little group pop-ups from Facebook or whatever. So I'm not trying to claim I'm anything to do with NES. You don't have to send me the cease and desist letter. This is just a place filler. But back to what I'm saying. Yeah, you don't have to feel, if you're involved in the group, and I hope you are, join. This is not going to be I like a good small group here and there for this purpose, and I like a big group here for this one. Some big groups are so generalized, they're not for me. But this is going to be a specific purpose group, and you know, don't be shy to post your prospect. You know, if you feel that this coin is going to go up within, you know, 2 days to 2 weeks, that's kind of the time frame. You know, pop it on there. Let people consider it. You know, it's not, you don't have to be hesitant to be like, well, I don't want to put one up here and watch it go down and people get in on that and it goes down. It's like we all know that anytime somebody puts a call up, it might go down, it might not go up. So the whole point in the rules though is have a reason. Anytime you do a write-up is great. I'm seeing a lot of more write-ups showing up. I'm a big fan of doing the write-ups. I've been doing them in the groups for a bit, and I like writing. I'm a writer, and I write and research super fast. So it's just in my nature. So if you want to do a write-up, do a write-up. A write-up is like saying, you know, I did a write-up 2 weeks ago. Black, what was that? Black Mason credit protocol. You know, I said, you know, this is not a call. Don't get in right now. I just want to talk about Black Mason credit protocol, their new business arrangement, and you know where it is in terms of the market. So that's a write up, you know. And if you don't want to make a call, just do a little write up. Talk to us about the crypto that you like and why. You know, put that option there because what we want is, you know, what I want to see. I want it to be usable for me. I want it to be usable for you. I want, you know, you and you to be able to come here and check this feed and pop on prospects and have, you know, 10, 20 good prospects here to just consider. It's just about considering. It's things to get you out of your own trade box. Because I know what happens a lot of times is your mind starts to latch on a couple favorites. You might be like, I like QuantStamp, Power, GVT, Substratum. You know, those are all ones I like, of course. But what happens is you get into those trades, you do well, you might step out for a little bit, you might go find a new one here and there, and then you get that point to where you're like, okay, I'm pulling out of this trade because I've done very good on it. And you don't know where to stick your money, so you end up sticking your money back in the original ones. You end up going like, I'm going like, well, I'll go back to Sub and Power and this and that. And there might not be news happening for those right now. I'm just not saying that, you know, you can go ahead and stake in long term or medium term on that, but that might be just a chunk of your portfolio. A lot of people do that. I did that. You know, you hold a big chunk of your portfolio into something that's very safe, stable, that you believe in, that has good news release. You hold that for a few months, but you get this other chunk of your portfolio, you're like, I want moons, I got to catch moons. And that's why we need these different info pools to work from, and why I feel we need these different group types. And I'm not considering Moonbase to be in competition with any group at all. In fact, I feel that we're stronger together, rather like, you know, good groups that complement each other. I feel like we're all in a nice swirl, and any of the people who run those groups or moderators in those groups, you know, I'm not trying to pull you in on any level. I'm just trying to say that I want to be in those groups. I want to be a member in those groups and comment and contribute. And you're more than welcome to come do the same, guys. Like, you know, this is not a, communities are not, you know, one horse show. You know, the more of us that are on a big giant, you know, awesome stage, well, that's just the party, you know. So come join Moonbase Crypto. Just read the rules, pass your the passwords towards me, just to tell me you read the rules. We just need the rules. Just a couple things. Got to do the tags right. We're not gonna do a couple little things, but very simple rules everyone can follow. It's all very easy. Please participate too. Don't hold back. I want to jump in. I don't want to have a 2-month feeling out period where people are like, oh, it's a new group. I'm intimidated or this and that. Like, let her rip, guys. This is called Moonbase Crypto. You know, I've got astronaut on here for a reason. I've got, you know, fun stuff on here for a reason. I'm posting, you know, fun little things because I want a good environment where we just kind of get to come in, get our awesome information, you know, pass it around like baseball cards with each other. You know, here's what I saw, you know, check this out. This is what I'm thinking on this crypto. And then come back and, you know, post your cool tags, man. I want to see them. I want to see you tell me how awesome you did on that trade. I want to see your funny stuff. I want to, you know, let's just do this, guys. The website is underway. Where are we? I'm not gonna no sneak peeks. It's not gonna be, you know, we're not looking at an exchange level, you know, complex matrix of activity that's gonna come out this website, but it's gonna have some nice features and what I believe to be designed well in an interactive way that it's just gonna let us You know, same thing out the group. It's just about closing a pipeline, you know. Things that normally take us a long time might take us a little bit less time, and it'd be fun. It'd be fun to have that. I want to use it. You know, I don't want to just run moon-based crypto. I'm designing something that I want to use, just like this console here, you know. You know, I'm trying to design something here that's useful to traders, you know, and it's no big deal. And at the same time, it is a big deal. Anyways, come join Moonbase Crypto. I'm ending the video right now, guys. I don't know, that might be a 50-minute long video. But I don't know, it's always fun rambling. Pleasure doing these videos. I'm glad my sound card's under wraps. I couldn't make a single more other video with that high-pitched buzz in the background. I know it was offended some people. It's crazy when you're like, come watch my video, and then the thing's going in the background. I couldn't do it. So I made sure to participate extra in the groups during the market crash, because I'm not gonna be a video maker who is gonna, you know, only be here for the good times, and then when the market crashes, you know, it can be tough. It can be tough. You know, your portfolio is down, you know, 15% overnight, just across the board, to come make a video, and you're like, oh, like, you know, everybody knows we're all in the pain train together when it happens with the market. Anyways, it's been a blast. I look forward to seeing the groups. You can always friend me on Facebook. I've run an open page, and Crypto Gazer YouTube channel. Anyways, we'll have Moonbase crypto updates. I don't know, did I post? You can catch the console link once you get to the Moonbase group. Moonbase group, just Facebook, Moonbase Crypto, you'll find it. The group's growing fast, a lot of requests. They're still filling out the questions. Members starting to pile in. It was an exciting day yesterday watching people join. I love it. I love, you know, if you got friends that like to do this kind of stuff and are interested in a focused feed type like this, bring them in, guys. I want people that like to participate, that make great calls, but also people that just like to, you know, absorb something, a news piece, and, you know, share it. That's what it's all about, you know. We can all get a good feel on these topics. I think these topics are perfect for the most part, and we can isolate our feeds when we need to see the information we need. All right, guys, I gotta do it. I gotta end it. I like hanging out with you guys, so sometimes it's hard to cut it loose, but I'm gonna cut it loose. We'll see you soon. Happy trading, guys. I'm out. Peace.